Hey team, I want to speak to you right now about something that is super important for building your business. And this isn't directly related, well, it is directly related to Emerald, but it's also directly related to everything else that happens in your business. And that's why I wanted to cover it. And I'm going to talk about your why. Now, yesterday I mentioned that the book, your personal development book for this month, that I would love for everybody to dig into is Start with Why by Simon Sinek. It is an incredible book. I learned so much from that book and from hearing him speak at Summit. I just highly recommend that for everyone. So, what is our why and why is it so important? It's kind of like a buzzword within multi-level marketing companies. It's a buzzword within like personal development. But what does it really mean? And it's important to distinguish, and I'm going to kind of use myself as an example as I talk about this with you. So figuring out your why and what drives you is something that is going to really make a difference in your business as far as having the motivation to propel you forward. Because as I talked about in the previous video, love what you hate, there are some things within our business that are just not our favorite thing to do, okay? And the turning point to success lies in those things that are just as easy not to do as it is to do, okay? There are a lot of things we can do that make us feel super productive, but they're not really driving our business forward. And then there are those things that aren't as enjoyable, but they are the catalyst for change within our business. And identifying your why and understanding what drives you and why you're doing this, like why are you here in this training? Why did you sign up as a coach? What about your life did you think that being a coach could help? Um, and that's so important to understand. So I'm going to kind of go through my journey and transition through my why just so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. So when I started to coach, this subject was talked about all the time. Like, you need to know what your why is. You need to understand your why. And like, I think most people, I didn't really quite grasp the importance of it or even what it really meant. And so in the beginning, my why was I wanted to quit my job and I wanted to be able to be a stay-at-home parent when I had children. And this, I'll be honest with you, did not push me like you would think it would. I developed a dream board, vision board, in my first year of coaching that is still to this day hanging on my wall in my kitchen. And my dream board was full of things that I wanted to accomplish, but they were all revolved around myself and my goals and my wants. Having $100,000 in my bank account, being completely debt free, um, having a dream home paid for, being able to travel. Those things all were like great things, and you would think like, that's super cool. Of course, everybody wants to have those types of things happen as a result of building a business. But it wasn't enough to drive me to do those things that I didn't really want to do. So let's talk about motivation, and maybe I'll give you an example that maybe will pinpoint or focus in for you what I'm talking about. I want you to pretend that you're standing in front of your home and your house is in flames, okay? There are flames shooting out of the windows, out from underneath the front door, and you're standing there and all you can think about is the fact that your wedding pictures are in that house. Your children's first baby clothes, I don't know, your wedding dress, things that are important to you, but they're just things, are in that house. And of course, I'm standing there in front of this house and I'm seeing these flames go up, and my whole life is going up in flames, and I'm sad because I'm losing a lot. But I'm not motivated enough by the things that I'm losing to brave the flames and to open the door and to go in and get my photo album, right? It's not that important. Now I want to change this scenario on you, and I want you to close your eyes and pretend you're in front of the same house with the flames shooting out of the window, but instead of thinking about your photo album, you can hear your baby crying from the bedroom window. The motivation is a little different, isn't it? That's a motivation that will get you to brave the flames and go in to save your child. Okay? That's how important your why is to building your business. I cannot stress it enough. That is so important to have a why that is powerful enough to make you cry. And this is something I heard over and over as a new coach, and I didn't get it. Like it didn't sink into me. But having a what is completely different than having a why. So for me, I wanted to quit my job. Okay, like you want to quit your job? Why? That's a what? That's a product. That's a result. That's not a why. That's not a driving force behind why do you want to do that? Why do you want to quit your job? And it didn't happen for me until just this year, well, last year, that I really honed in on what was going to make me push. Money for some people is enough. Maybe your circumstances are very desperate, and building a business and being successful at this financially for you is a huge deal. I'll tell you, for me, that wasn't enough for me because I make really good money at my job. And yes, being able to quit my job would be really cool and earn the same amount of money, but it just, I didn't have the desperation that I needed to do that. It wasn't until I took the focus off myself and what I wanted, and I started thinking about what having financial freedom would do for me, and what having extra money and a surplus of money would do for me. What would that enable me to do? And I realized my why. And my dad was a very generous person. And I know most of you have probably heard this story, but he had a foundation that he developed, and he sent money overseas to build missions across Africa. And there are a lot of different missions across Africa that have been built because my dad was generous enough, and that was his passion. He went over there, he visited it, and that was his passion. Now, for me, building my business, my dad is gone. He can't do that anymore. He's passed away. But I can do it. I can carry that vision for him. And that means something more to me than I can express in words. It's a vision. It's a mission, a personal mission for me to be able to do that for my dad in my dad's name, to carry that on. And how can I do that? I can't do that on my current income. As nice a living as it does provide for me, it's not that kind of living, all right? The more successful I am at this business, the more I push and the more I grow my business and I create a financial empire for my business. It's not about buying red bottom shoes for me, you guys. It's about building missions in Africa and continuing my dad's dream. And my sister and I talked just recently about it, and we want together to build an orphanage in Africa in my dad's name. And that means something more to me than I could ever. Um, it's more than money, okay? And that was what it took for me to figure out what my why was. And I just want to encourage you to really dig deep on this, because I can tell you from the last 3 years that I've been a coach, when I finally realized and I had that kind of awakening within my own mind of what I wanted to do with my financial freedom and what I wanted to do for other people. And it was more than just doing something for myself. Okay, it was about getting outside of myself and making a difference in the lives of somebody else. That's what pushes me. That's what drives me. And I can't believe it took me this long to realize that. And so I just want you to really dig deep, okay? And make sure that your answer to what your why is cannot be answered with, or it's not an answer to a what question. Okay, having things, buying things, those are whats. Okay, that you need an emotional why that's going to make you drive and that's going to make you push. And so the goal on this, my action step for you on this, and this is something that I want you to think about it. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to comment below that you did watch this video so that I know you're following along. I'm not asking for your why just yet unless you already have it defined. If you've already done this and you've got it and you know what it is, then yes, I would love to hear that. But sometime in the next week or so, I do want to hear what your why is. I'd love to see a video. If you're, maybe doing a video is not comfortable for you, write it out and post it in the team page. And I'd love to see what your why is. But I do not want you to rush through this because I don't want you to make the mistake I made and get distracted by shiny objects. Okay, we all love money. Like, I like designer brand, I like that kind of stuff, but that's not enough to make me push. Okay, maybe I'm just not enough of a fashionista to have that push me. But your why is all about emotion, it's all about passion, and it's all about that motivation that's bigger than the fear, the motivation that is bigger than the fear that will make you push through the flames. All right, go into a situation where you're terrified, okay, and push through because your motivation is bigger than the fear. That's what it's all about. So, assignment, please comment below that you watched this video and let me know that you're going to be thinking about this, okay? And then I do want to hear your why from you in the next week or so. And now I'm going to tell you guys something, and I know this video is going a little longer than the other ones. I've been trying to keep them under 10 minutes for you because I know it's a lot. But this is really important, and I want to say this. People who want this business to work for them are going to do these assignments. Okay? Because again, like we said in Love What You Hate, you're not going to get the result you want without that activity. Okay? So know this, if you're pushing and you have big goals for your business and you want this business to work for you, I know you're going to do this assignment, even though it might be uncomfortable. But guess what? We grow when we put ourselves in uncomfortable situations. If you live in the comfort zone, you are never going to grow. Mark my words, you will not grow as a person, as a business. You will not grow if you stay in the comfort zone. You have to face the fear, push through it, and have that why that's driving you so that you know why you're doing this. All right? That's the end. I'm done. Love you guys. I can't wait to hear from you.